We have all heard of the concept of mentoring and how important it is to support a person's career. Stephen Helman from Exchange Street, who are recruitment specialists in the insurance sector, has been researching the need for mentoring with interesting results. This is also a subject close to my heart. So Steve and I have decided to run a mini podcast series looking at the topic from the perspective of the mentee, the mentor, and the organisation. Today, we are starting with considering the mentee perspective. So, Steve, have you ever been in the position of a mentee?
I have, yes. I've been lucky enough to have some fantastic mentors in my career, which has really been a game of two halves. In my previous life in claims and loss adjusting, I had a couple of people who really gave me confidence to develop my skills and knowledge and to start doing, at that time, the CII exams. And subsequently in recruitment, I've also been able to draw on the experience and know-how of some incredibly generous colleagues who have shaped the way I approach recruitment and are still able to lean on for advice over 15 years in now.
And I've been really lucky as well because I've had a string of them. Obviously, my career is a lot longer than yours. And I even have people who I regard as mentors now. I suppose the person who probably put up with me the longest was therefore the greatest influence. And he was one of the most technical insurance minds in the industry. And that was somebody called Paul Maynard. He's now sadly departed, but he was a man of incredible foresight. And two areas back in the late 1990s and early 2000s, he used to go on and on about were climate change and pandemic. Though his bugbears really have become reality. We've now discovered that both of us have experience of having been mentored. So, taking this from our own experiences, Stephen, what were some of the key benefits to you that you can think of about having had mentors?
Well, I think for me, three categories that I'd probably say a mentor can help with, helping to improve your skills, to give you a kind of a greater focus around the direction of your career and also kind of the day-to-day working of your career, and then sort of a wider reach in terms of your understanding of the industry and the kind of networks around that and how to develop. So, specifically, I guess, in respect of loss adjusting, I think having a mentor can help improve your skills because, you wouldn't be able to achieve necessarily on your own because on the technical side, a mentor's been there, they've done that, they've got the t-shirt and they can guide you through complex issues. They can be a sounding board for your ideas and they can point out mistakes that you might not even notice because, you've not necessarily had that exposure before. And, they'll work with you on areas for improvement and give you feedback that can speed up your learning. But then also on the other side of loss adjusting, there's the soft skills, which are just as essential. And they can show you how to handle people who are going through tough situations and how to manage their expectations in a way that, keeps them informed and reassured. And they're also a great resource for, as you know, Sue, like preparing for your CILA exams, sharing what they know. So you're not just book ready, but also kind of practically prepared for the job as well. So, in a way, they can help you transition from understanding the what to understanding the how of loss adjusting. And then in terms of focus, a mentor can keep you grounded and offer perspective, especially when you're deep in challenging cases or balancing multiple priorities. A mentor can help you prioritize. They can introduce you to techniques for managing your time more effectively, which is really important in loss adjusting with all the competing demands on your time and stakeholders all wanting things at the same time. So they can make sure that you're on course and your energy is directed where it counts the most. And then the other thing that I was thinking of was, a wider reach, which I think is a big one, a wider reach for your career, because having a mentor can open doors to a wider network that you probably wouldn't access on your own, especially early in your career. Loss adjusting as an industry is incredibly connected and knowing the right people can make the difference. And, they can help you introduce you to contacts within kind of specific industry niches that you might be interested in pursuing that you might not have known existed or were an area of interest previously. But they can also, introduce you to kind of take you to conferences or introduce you to conferences, panels, or just other people who can offer a different perspective on cases or the market. And over time, you can build a network that broadens your career options and your knowledge base. So you see the industry from multiple viewpoints, which could be invaluable.
I agree with all of that, but I think having the amazing mentors I did also helped my confidence. Now, I'm not sure that everybody will agree that I needed more confidence, but it is that ability just to have someone that you can bounce things off, who either confirms your thought process or points you into another direction. That is really
Mm.
invaluable. You then gain the confidence to be a little bit more daring, but you also learn to recognize when you've maxed out your knowledge and you actually need to admit it and you need help. One day I asked Paul why he always dropped doing whatever he was doing if I picked up the phone and asked for help. And his response was that I was always asking interesting questions. And one of the reasons why it was interesting to him was because I'd always actually considered the issue before I actually picked up the phone and yelped at him. This sort of response gives a massive confidence boost, and it sort of goes hand in hand with my next 2 points, which are improved job satisfaction and motivation. As your confidence grows, you become more motivated. Motivation then makes you want to take on the next challenge. And because you know you've got the support of your mentor, they're in the background, they're there rooting for you. You feel that, in fact, you can just go ahead with that project because they're there to help you with the soft skills that you've already mentioned, but also the technical aspects. But they might also help you with the direction your career might want to go in as well. And then that is the job satisfaction ticked. And ultimately, we all want to get up in the morning with a bounce because we actually enjoy what it is we do. And
Mhm.
I think my mentors have really helped that. So I still bounce out of bed in the morning like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, that's enough about my Tigger habits. And my last question for you today, Stephen, is do you think that people have concerns that if they move around the market and they have a really good mentor, that they could lose that mentor that would then make them not want to move around?
I can understand the concern, but I think the best mentors are the ones that aren't company centric, if that's a right way of putting it. But mentors that will stay with you through your career and sort of divorced in a way from the specific company that you're working with. So if you can form those relationships where, like you, 15 years, 20 years, however many years into your career, so you can still call up one of the people you consider a mentor and say, you kind of bounce this idea off, that they'll be there for you. And I think those are the best mentors. So I wouldn't say that you should be worried too much that you'll lose mentors through your career. I mean, some will naturally, I suppose, those relationships might become more distant, but the best mentors will be there for you throughout your career.
So they don't necessarily have to be with the company that you're actually working with. So, in summary, then, the key points today about the benefits of mentoring to the mentee are improved skills, confidence and job satisfaction, more focus and motivation, and having a wider reach within the industry. Thank you, Steve. As ever, you have been absolutely fantastic, and we look forward to the next part in the series. You've been listening to a Sitting with Sue Insurance Questions Answered podcast that I hope you have found informative. Check out my website at www.suetaylor.co.uk for other podcasts available and subscribe to learn about new ones in the pipeline.